let me keep this thing moving, right? In chapter 3, right, you talk about the greater mistake.
Right.
And it says, when you settle through human thoughts,
Right.
when you talk about the greater mistake. What do you mean by that?
Okay. Now, first of all, we usually make a mistake when we begin lies. We believe lies. I wear a bracelet all the time. No more lies. And I think that's at the essence of us breaking free and being able to live above where we're at now, because we've been told so much, and if we embrace it, if we embrace those things, you can't do this, you're never going to make that. I have had the experience that in the 11th grade, I went to a counselor, and I had spent from the 7th grade to the 11th grade in college everything. Got good grades, etc. And my 11th grade counselor was telling me, don't worry about college. Why don't you'll go take a few courses, graduate. What about the kid who's struggling, may not have had all of those colleges, that had that kind of background? See how you're directed? People will tell you stuff, and if you embrace it and believe it, you live beneath your privilege. So number one of the first mistakes is believing the lie. And then second is accepting, and the greater mistake, living it. And just living it and laying back and not doing anything about it. And when we know, okay, I have been messed up, I've got to come against this. It's a great story.
Before you go there, because this is getting interesting, and I love these kind of conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, I'm talking to my good friend Reverend Thomas Weeks. We're talking about a lot of things in reference to his book, Transformed. Let me ask you a question. What is your greatest fear? What is your greatest fear, and what is some of the things that you would like to do even better? But let's talk about your greatest fear as a person, as a minister, right? As a person of God, because I think we all have our different fears and challenges. Do you ever think about that?
In terms of fear, yeah, I probably don't want to die in a plane accident.
Right.
I do a lot of traveling, a lot of flying, and so a good part of my prayer life is devoted to say, Lord, when I die, let me just go to sleep and die.
But that's interesting,
yeah,
though.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I bet you a lot of people never knew that.
And I do a lot. I mean, it's
and I know that.
Yeah, it's just.
I might see you walking through the airports.
And right, we see each other a lot of times. But that's great for me, because that means there's that challenge always out there. Every time I got to go here, I got to minister somewhere, I got to do something somewhere, I got to get on a plane, I got to be mindful, I got to confront that and overcome it. I could easily say, I ain't flying.
Right.
And then my life would have been reduced to a little nothing, because my life is all about traveling and being about throughout the nation. So you got to confront it and you got to move on. I think that is a capsule of what most of us fear, what most of us got to confront. In the areas of our greatest success, there is this thing that you can't do anything about. That's right in the midst of it. Paul called it a thorn in his flesh. He said, if you move this thorn out of my flesh, I'll be able to do so much. And the Lord's response back to Paul was, listen, my strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you submit to me and just rely on me and trust me, I will bring you through all of that. And so when we confront our fears, is to be able at that moment to trust God that he will take us past all of this. It's going to be all right. Face it and get on the other side. Take, for instance, the person who's coming out of prison, who's been incarcerated for 10 years. Now he's coming out. There's a whole different world. He got to confront his old friends. He's got to try to make some new friends. He's got to deal with and there's all of this fear that's out there in terms of, all right, making this new life for himself. He has got to confront that fear rather than falling back into old habits. He's got to confront that fear and get on the other side. He's got to make the journey. You got to do it, because success is on the other side. Don't be afraid of getting that job.
And that's good. Let me ask you, because I'm going to have to open the phone lines in a minute, but I love talking to preachers. You know what I mean? I find you guys fascinating. And plus, I always ask you for prayer. so you help me out with that. What frustrates you?
I try.
Honestly.
Right.
Well, I know you're preaching. I
right.
shouldn't say honestly, because
Right.
you know what I mean.
I understand. I think we hit on a portion of it, and that is we as a people accepting what people throw at us. And I'll give you a for instance. I was working on with some very good friends of mine right here in the city. I was working on a plan of training individuals, training young people especially, to become entrepreneurs. And we had we did an entrepreneurial school, and we trained individuals, and we were after young people, but we got actually older folks who got involved in it. And it was about a 9-month program. I had some great folks actually do the teaching, business persons do the teaching and the classes, and it really went well. And so we was seeking funding. And so I sat down around the table with some major business persons, most of them Caucasians and et cetera. And I, for the first time, right up front, heard what we heard during the elections. Folks are takers, and they rely too much on givers, and they're in a rut and they'll never come out. It was so discouraging.
And it frustrates you.
And it did frustrate me. And I sat there and I said, you know, that's what folks confront. And so I'm determined. I came back, I kind of reorganized myself, and I said, you know what, there's some steps I need to do up front so that we will have funding our own self and won't have to go to others for the funding of this, and we will get this done. So I'm in the process of developing that and taking those steps.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying this conversation. I'm hoping that you have some very good questions for the bishop. Wow, this is really good.
Let me just tell them where to go for the book.
Yeah, we're going to tell them that.
Okay.
We're going to tell them that. See, now you're going to take over my show.
I will, so you have to talk to me.
I know you. Hey, Alvin, put the phone line up, and God, this is so good. I enjoy engaging these kind of conversations. You know, when I come back on a show and having a person of your magnitude and with your in-depth thought, you know, because we talk privately that people have no idea. And I talk to a lot of, I enjoy talking to, Bullock, Beeman, Pastor D. I like talking to all the ministers, you know, black, white, and Hispanic. And it's always a different way. But tell them about your book, because I'm going to go to the phone lines because they're ringing already.
You'll be able to order the book online if you go to www.newdestinyfellowship.org. www.newdestinyfellowship.
Hold on for 1 second. Hold up.
It's one word, newdestinyfellowship.org. If you go onto that site, there'll be a banner that will come up on that site about the book. Click on the banner and you'll be able to order the book. You'll get it into your hands. It will bless you. It'll transform your life. You'll be able to start making the steps of transformation, and change will come. You will be blessed. You'll want to give the books. And one of the great things that's happening is that folks are coming back. We spent a month at the church. We just got it. It's going to be in the bookstores in June. Folks are coming back and buying more to give to other folks after they've read it. So that's a very good sign.
Let's go to, you know what? I was telling my girlfriend Wayne Jefferson, I love listening to those guys at Canaan sing, and I was telling him I was going to have you on. He was like, wow, that's incredible. And of course, you don't disappoint. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is a two-part question. I'm going to ask it quickly, and then I'm going to hang up and listen to Pastor Weeks' response. I first of all want to know his take on gay marriages.
Good question.
And then I also want to know what happened to the book that he wrote in the early 80s. It was a white book, softback, and it talked about the traditional holidays, paganistic ways that we celebrate. And it kind of went into the Easter and Halloween and Christmas. I missed that book, and I tried to repurchase it a few years ago, and I don't think it's in circulation. But I know he remembers the book because he taught it in church.
Wow, good.
I'm gonna hang up.
Two
Thank
very
you.
good questions. Thank you.
First, with gay marriage, for ministers who come from the Bible, it's very clear that we do not, at least I, and I suspect others, do not support or conduct marriages from our particular perspective. Well, what about people in general? And this is what I tried to.
Yeah, hold on for a second, okay?
This is what I've tried to share with other folks. That's my religious belief. That's what I believe. This is a secular society.
Right. It's becoming a hot topic now.
Yeah, I know it. It's a secular society. Folks are good doing all crazy stuff. I ought to be just as fervent about some other things that go on in the community. If I'm going to be that negative about gay marriage, then I need to be that negative about a whole lot of other things that are in the community that's going down. But we've learned to kind of live with that because we realize it's a secular society.
Yeah.
There's folks out there who are not in church.
You know what I mean?
Who are not in church. So
and we got to keep moving on,
right,
because you got phone lines lighting up, and we don't have a lot of time. But also, it seems to me that a lot of the black ministers are taking a little less of adversarial, position on this. And what about your book, the book she was talking about?
Okay, and on the book is obviously out of print. I did write it. It was a great book, and we kind of sold it. No, there was not a great demand for it, but it did talk about, like, I know it's very controversial, but we have Easter bunnies. What does bunnies have to do with Easter?
I just saw the Easter bunny too. By the way, man, I think I want my money back. The way I'm promoting your book tonight. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Deacon Green, Bishop.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for a while. For those that really don't know this man, I have learned so much from Bishop. That is totally unbelievable. This man is totally blessed by God, and I'm now teaching my grandkids some things because I'm not able to get out because of my illness and attend church like I want to. But this man, he's one of the greatest preachers and teachers you want to see, especially a teacher. He really believes in that. And if you want to learn something, he will teach you.
Wow.
And God bless you, Bishop.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
How you
Need
doing?
more
Welcome
calls
to the
like that.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Hi, Norm.
How you doing?
Hi. Norm, this is Sharon, Kendall's mother, Sharon Briscoe.
Uh-huh.
And his chicken and waffles is third in Pine. I'm going to turn my TV down.
Okay.
It's third in Pine, and I enjoyed having you down there the other day when you came.
Yeah, great food.
Yeah, but I just wanted to also say hi, Apostle.
Hi, God bless you.
You too, thank you. I wanted to also let you know that I listened at you talking about the appointments to the Wilmington Housing Authority, and I just wanted to say with a grateful heart and much humbleness that I have also been appointed as one of the new commissioners to the Wilmington
Oh, wow,
Housing
okay.
Authority.
And tell Kendall that no more free advertisement for his waffles and chicken. So if we come down there, no, I'll pay last time. I want a free one next time. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm super. I have a question for Bishop Wicks.
Yeah, turn your TV down while you're asking him.
I thought I did. You still can hear it?
We can hear everything, but go ahead.
Hey, well, I got it lower. I want to ask him a question.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
You know Bishop Wicks?
Yes.
You're not Bishop Weeks, are you?
Yes, I am. I am.
No, he's the Easter Bunny.
Bishop, how are you?
I am doing super.
I know you know my voice, Norman, and you.
Yes.
And Sister Brown, Verna.
Right.
How are you?
I am doing super. It's just good to hear you.
You're looking well. I'm like the gentleman that hung up. I'm not able to attend church. I miss everybody so much. But what I'm calling about is that I got baptized in 81 on 11th Street, but I didn't meet you till 83 because every time I came to church, you were out of the country or something. But what I'm calling about is to let people know that you were teaching, I didn't understand about stock. You were telling us about stock back in the 80s. You were telling us about saving.
Yeah, that's why he's so rich.
Yeah, right, Norman. But I just want everybody to know that you were teaching, and
That's good.
My grandchildren would still get together and they have a discussion. But he's a teacher, and the other one said, well, he's a minister. So we had that discussion. And the young lady who wants that book, I still have it. I bought it when we went to Baltimore, and I was reading it on the bus. So she can get it from me.
And thank you for the call.
But what I'm just calling about is that I miss you. You are a teacher and a preacher. Okay, about saving. And some of us get a penny. We get hold of a penny and don't know how to use it, and it's gone from us.
God bless you.
All right, God bless you. See, I got to be a preacher. You know, you guys know how to shoot. And that was a good call, but it took us to Christmas before we got through it. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Nora?
How you doing?
I would just like to thank Bishop Weeks. I don't know if he'll remember me. I'm Brother Brian Patterson and Regina Patterson.
Oh yeah. God bless you. How you doing?
Good,
all of these are one of my first members. King Green, Brenner Brown, Brother Peterson. Right. How you doing?
Right.
Doing
So
good?
you having like a reunion.
Yes. His mother was one of my great warriors. Thank you, mother-in-law. Yes, God bless.
Sister Simpson.
Right, right.
Simpers, yeah, Sister Simpers, my wife Regina. We just wanted to thank you because you've given us so much knowledge when we were young. We were going to college. We were in Delaware State.
Wow.
And you used to tell us a story about the haberdashery you used to
Sure.
own. And I was like, you know, he really, I didn't really have a father figure around at that time. And he instilled so much wisdom to me and my wife. We've been together 28 years. We were married at Greater Bethel Apostolic Covenant, and you married us.
That's right.
And we got 3 kids. They're going to
Wow.
college. They're very successful. So I just wanted to thank you and keep us in your prayers.
I'll do
we
that.
Love you, and you take care.
God
Thank
bless you.
I just got a text from my good friend Wayne Jefferson. He says, shout out to the concert in Philly tomorrow night featuring the Canaan Men's Choir at the Met. I'm not sure exactly, Wayne, where the Met is. I know it's in Philly, but I don't know what street it's on.
Broad Street.
It's on Broad Street?
He's on Broad Street.
So go see those guys. I don't even know what time. You don't have a time or anything, Wayne. You could call in if you want and give us the time and all that kind of good stuff. Wow, this is going well, man. How you doing? Welcome to the show. You get a lot of shout-outs, like, you know. See, I never get those kind of good calls. Nobody calls and say, I saw a lady I was at Steve's eating a steak the other morning. He's with my nephew, Sadiq. She was like, I always watch your show. I'm from Philly, but nobody gives me a shout-out.
They do it every week. So
but you're doing a lot of good stuff, though.
Amen.
I mean,
Amen.
you got to be happy, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the ministry?
I've been pastoring here in Wilmington, Delaware for 33 years.
It's been that long?
33 years.
Does it seem like that?
No.
Wow. What can you look back and say, wow, like one of your greatest accomplishments?
Yeah. My one of them is when I'm dedicating babies, and now I am dedicating the babies.
Wow.
You know, and that's always a great moment for me. And I look back at the mother and the father and know and remember that when I had them, and then being able to have the privilege of pouring into their lives as
So
they were growing.
now you're seeing generations.
Now I'm getting the next generation.
That's when you had Afro.
Yes.
I did too. Man. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi. I just wanted to ask the bishop, whatever happened to Anita Bynum?
Juanita is still doing a great job. She's ministering. The ministry is not as worldwide as it used to be, but she's in churches, blessing folks, and still leading her prayer revival.
Well, that's a good question. Was that stressful on you during that whole time?
Yeah, it was stressful.
Yeah.
It's what families go through and what they do,
and
nobody's exempt.
You know, the reason that was the point. A lot of times people think that you guys are above that. Right. You know, stress or heartache, especially dealing with kids and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, I mean, like you have a whole different life.
Right.
You know, ministers. You know, and like when I'm reading some of your titles, you know what I mean. Like you start out, you talk about the highest potential.
Right.
You know, you talk about the prize.
Right.
And I would think that the highest potential and the prize would be at the end. Why did you bring that at the beginning of the book?
I wanted to lay out some principles right up front. Some principles of which we then highlight as we start talking about the transformation. So we started right out saying, this is what you ought to be going for. This ought to be a goal. You know, one of the reasons why we never move out is because we do not have a vision. We do not have a prize. We're not after something. But if you're after, like many folks ought to be after some wealth, so when you get 60, you have something. And you don't have to die and depend on other people to bury you.
But that's usually at the end. Thank you for that. Let me give a shout out to my good friend Emily Ryan. How you doing, Em? And also the concert's 7 p.m. on Broad and Poplar Street. Tickets are still available, and Wayne's number is 302-419-5822. Even though I'd rather him call, but he was scared to call when his boss is on here. I know he ain't gonna call now. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Turn the TV down for 1 second, because you can hear the echo. Hello? Let's wait on this. Now you see what I go through. Okay. So let me ask you a question, Bishop. Like, if I wanted, so can people come to your church and buy this book?
Yes, they can come to the church and
it's only 12. It's only
right, $12.95.
Yeah.
You can go online.
So do I get my change? Because I think I gave you 20. Do you take?
Did you?
Is that a tip?
I didn't even look at it, but God bless you.
he said, God bless you. He's preachers, man. That's why I love him. How you doing? Welcome to the show. That's my time. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Hello? Did I answer it? I'm sorry. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I just want to know what the bishop's take is on divorce. One night I was sitting in his church and he said God don't want any of his children to be miserable. So I just want to know what his take is on divorce.
Okay.
Yes. First, the Lord doesn't want us divorced. That's number one. Don't want us divorced. But he also realized that there are all kinds of situations, and in one great teaching in the Bible, it talks about if somebody leaves you and don't want to be with you, rather than just being there miserable, and they walk away from you, you are free to go on with your life. And so you ought to do that. But what I try to tell folks, learn from your mistakes. If you just went through a very bad situation, somebody leaves you, think about that before you just jump into another relationship, before you take it on again. And please don't get into a relationship hurt.
Hey, Bishop, let me
yes.
stop you there. Because we only got a few more minutes. What do you think about the job Barack Obama's doing, the president?
I think he's doing an outstanding job as president. Of course, you know how we are in terms of judging and judgment. Look at what he had to come into. Look what was going on at he didn't come in a normal process and be able to, I'm sure he wanted to attack the debt problem, wanted to be able to get some things done. But we were losing 600,000 jobs every month. I mean, and you had to stop the bleeding. You had to spend 4 years to just pull the country together. In the New York Times on today, there's this article from one of President Reagan's advisors that said that President Bush bankrupted the country. Now, they're starting to come out and realize that he bankrupted the company. So here comes Obama, who has to now deal with all of this mess, takes 4 years out of his particular term just to turn it around, to get it now to where we start to have housing coming back, to where jobs are starting to come back. And remember, the whole time, the other political parties said they were going to do everything to make sure that he does not get reelected. So their whole job was just to be negative. So he did not have a working government. He did not have another party that was willing to work with him.
Okay, real quickly before we shut down, I want to make sure that everyone goes to see my good friend Wayne Jefferson in the Canaan, the Mighty Men of Canaan on Broad and Poplar Street at the Met. Tickets are still available. His number is 302-419-5822. And again, congratulations to Julius Cephas. And I want to say that my good friend Nancy Willing does a great job with her blogs. And also read Cecilia Corn, Grapevine, DelawareGrapevine.com. She does a great job, because a lot of times we don't read that kind of stuff. And also we need to put Emily Ryan on the board at Housing Authority since you got replaced. and tell us, how can we get your book?
Okay, again, if you go online, www.newdestinyfellowship.org, you'll be able to go there, you'll be able to order the book. Again, www.newdestinyfellowship.org, and you'll be able to order the book. The book is also at the church. You'll be able to get the book. They'll be out at the bookstores in June, but by that time it'll be old. You get it now. Don't waste another couple of months.
Hey man, thank you, man.
Hey,
look, man, look, this guy got, look his fingernails look all good. I'm a working man. He got like manicures, pedicures, all that. And look, my son just went over. He pledged, and my nephew he became a Kappa. Alonzo Redden. Congratulations to all those guys. And you know, life is good, man.
It's good to see your son doing well.
Yeah, in Boston.
I remember when you were taking. I remember when you were taking him up there.
Yeah. And also, man, happy Easter to everyone watching. You know, we didn't get a chance to talk about Easter.
Well, how much time do we have?
About a minute. I mean,
Let me just share something with
because
folks.
you know.
No.
Because I didn't remember my
lines. One of the
greatest
greatest things that ever happened was the death, burial, and resurrection. I want you to think about it.
Go ahead.
Death, burial, we all go through that experience, but there is the resurrection. Jesus said he had the power to lay down his life and the power to pick it back up. And he went through that so that we can have the power to lay down our life and pick it back up again. What do you mean? You have the power to be able to take things in your life that you do not want and get rid of them, and to be able to get better. So when you pick back up your life, it is in better situation. But how is that done? You got to have Christ. You got to be able to move into this whole realm where the spiritual man becomes alive in you. You begin to use your authority that's in your mouth to be able to speak to issues and watch them change in that realm. And you will be able to do the Lord's Prayer that says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven."
All right, well, I'm cutting you off on that. No, give me some money for being on my show. I'm on my money. Hey,
God bless you. Love you.
God bless you. Love you too, man. Hope you enjoyed the show. Goodbye. I'm out of here.
I don't even want to use felon no more.
Okay, well, you can take over. Go ahead.
We basically want to use free folks like we are. We are citizens. If you use the word felon, you putting them back in jail, or you condemn them from getting jobs and stuff. We are trying to make them free. Those folks are just like we are.
Just talk to me about what's going on with what's going on. What's the press conference and all that was about?
Press conference was basically about the Hazel Plant bill, which is disenfranchise felons. They asked us not to use that. We want to make sure they vote and become whole again as taxpayers and everything. We want to make sure that there's no waiting period, that they can go on and vote once they get out of jail and they meet all the qualifications of paying fines and probation stuff. Then after that, they can